but how in reality, because this is the sector you all represent, how we can actually see urbanization fit into the space and how governments can also come up with their ideas to fit into it. Because I firmly believe that the growth of your industry has largely been as a result of the failure of the government sector not being able to provide quality or adequate housing. So I think that's very interesting.
There's a huge shift of population towards cities like Delhi, Panipat, Gurgaon, Rewari. Why? Because of industrialization, education, employment opportunities. But when people come here, especially the youth, they always aspire to buy a home here, not to live in a rental place. But then the question comes of availability and affordability. You know, sometimes I look at the advertisement of the big real estate companies. It's more focused on those people who are looking to have a second home or for more of investments rather than the first time buyers. How many of us, like who has come from a small rural background, can actually own a house in Delhi or in Gurgaon? And what are the banking facilities? Has your industry taken any initiative to come out with cheaper loans, lower bank interest rate? It is very important that the real estate sector should grow. There should be more urbanization in India. Why so? It will create many job opportunities. And it is the need of the hour, I believe. We can't run away from this reality that we need more and more urbanization. But when we look at the city of Gurgaon, you see the tall buildings, beautiful buildings, but at the same time, there's no power supply. Look at the bad conditions of the road, choked sewerage system. You also need the help of the government. You need a visionary leadership who should also look into these gray areas. Because as a builder, they can't build roads. They can't provide 24/7 electricity. They can't provide a good sewerage system. But the government can do it, who's collecting huge funds from them, but spending on other areas rather than on those cities from where the revenue has been collected. But as a youth, I think majority of the young boys, they are looking at various facilities, education, employment, and public transport is also very, very important.
We are victim of the situation and not the beneficiary. So, what has made this perception? One is, of course, decade of 70s, when Mumbai real estate market was associated somewhat with smugglers who were, highlighted to public at large.
No, the real estate market has always been associated with people who have, out of 100 rupees, 60 black money to invest and 40 to show as white
there I
money.
will differ.
That's been a perception.
There I'll differ. That's what, exactly. This is what we have been speaking. That perception and reality are completely different. Across the country, barring few micro markets, we are close to power centers. Now you will understand what I want to say. Other markets are as transparent or as non-transparent as respectable industries or industrialists are. So, real estate market, non-transparent? No, it is transparent. Section 80 IB was introduced in 1998. All transactions which used to happen off the record, on the contrary, happened on the record, not off the record, but on the record. In Noida, you get, quote, 3,000 rupees per square feet, and you get printed rate list. In Pune, you get printed rate list. In Bangalore, you get printed rate list. There is no question of parallel black money, or to the extent you are saying. I am not denying completely. But political system is what it is responsible also for somewhat non-transparency in business in few micro markets. But sector as a whole is transparent, and I guarantee you, we can debate on this. I can put numbers.